All right, what's up, peeps? Sorry I'm a little bit late. I just got off of a call. Some very exciting stuff going on in the OddsJam world that I can't wait to release and to announce and all that good stuff. So sorry I'm a little bit late, but for those of you who don't know me yet at this point, tuning into these live streams, my name is Matt Modi. I'm a content producer and betting analyst for OddsJam. For these live streams, what I essentially do is talk about the OddsJam positive expected value page, the positive EV page. I place as many bets as I can, but the more important thing to do during these is just education. So let you guys know how you can use the OddsJam positive EV page. That's more important than just watching me place a bunch of bets. So that's what I'll be doing. But before I get started, before I share my screen and all that good stuff, I would say that probably the most important thing you can do to be profitable and to use the system that I use using OddsJam is to just be signed up for every sportsbook that's available to you. So I would make sure that if sports betting is legal in your state, check out the description. And if there's a sportsbook that you're not signed up for, go ahead and sign up using that link. You'll get some sort of promo code and some sort of sign up bonus, like free credit or a free bet or the deposit match, something like that, depending on the book that you use. And I really can't stress it enough. You need to be signed up everywhere you are. It's free to sign up. You can deposit as you please, put in money as you please. But Jojo says hi. The more sports books you're signed up for, the better chance you have of getting a positive EV bet, of getting the best lines, all that stuff. So I really can't stress just how important it is to be signed up everywhere that's available in your state. So use the links, sign up, and with that, I will share my screen. So this is my OddsJam home screen. I posted on Twitter today, but I've had a pretty good week so far, up about, like, as you can see, 266 for the week. Most of my public plays have done pretty well. I had a rough, it's either Monday or Tuesday, where a lot of my plays, like my videos didn't do great and my plays on Twitter didn't do great, but the live stream went great. So I was able to balance each other out. Overall, like I said, it's been going pretty well. Unfortunately, my sweat the bet picks were terrible. 0 for 2 there, so not a great start. Parlay Doc has me there. I think he went 1 for 1, so going to catch him next time. But all this stuff that you see on my home screen, it's all, you could use this for free. So you don't need to be an OddsJam paid subscriber, paid for their subscription in order to use this valuable information that you see here on my home screen. So this is all pulled from the OddsJam bet tracker. And as I mentioned, the OddsJam bet tracker, this is completely free. It's an incredible service. All you do to use it, once it loads, I'll refresh it. You just enter all the information about the bet you're placing, and it'll tell you if you're currently beating the closing line. So if you have a bet that's red, you can cash it out. Last I checked, all mine were good, but it looks like 2 of them have changed. Julius Randle and Buffalo Sabres, no longer positive EV. So I can go and see if I can cash those out. Looks like the D'Angelo Russell one, also no longer plus EV. So again, I can go, so there's 3 total. I can go to cash out, but it tells you again, green equals good, red equals bad. The bet tracker also auto grades it for you. So once the games have concluded, and I believe it updates every 6 hours, it'll literally tell you, it'll update everything for you. It'll tell you whether your bet won or lost. And then that information feeds into this home screen, which has all my bets information. So I love seeing that I've been up almost 10K since I've been using OddsJam. I love seeing that since I've been using OddsJam, I've only had 4 weeks where I've lost money. So every other week has been positive, as you can see, highlighted by the almost 1,200 profit week I had. This was some week in December and NFL, and during the NFL, I just crushed it. I love seeing the profit by sportsbook. I kill it with BetMGM. Although this has actually been, I've been using BetMGM too much recently, and I think I cursed myself. So I was up about $4,000 on BetMGM. I forget exactly when, but now it's only 3,400. So I've lost a decent amount on BetMGM since I started using it, or since I started talking about how much profit I made off them. But FanDuel, I was down almost like 400. I've been doing much better with. So it all ebbs and flows, but it's cool seeing this. I also like seeing the profit by bet type. So positive EV accounts for 7,500 of my total profit, which is amazing. The normal are bets that I place myself. So I do all my research. I confirm that it's still positive EV, but I don't actually get it from the positive EV page. So those are my NBA bets of the day. I don't always steal those from the plus EV page. Some player props I dig in, find on my own. But overall, obviously, the heavy majority is through the positive EV page, which I will go to next. So This is a positive EV page. Since there are some college tournament, conference tournament, college games going on, there are some live bets that you can see here. I'll filter those out for now. The way the positive EV page works, it tells you a situation in which the OddsJam perfect line, which is the sharpest line in the world, the sharpest way to price a line is the OddsJam perfect line. It gives you examples where with the VIG removed, so every sportsbook charges a VIG, the OddsJam perfect line with the VIG removed, it shows you examples of when you're getting better odds on a sports book. So for this first example, which I actually won't be taking, which I'll explain later, the OddsJam perfect line has this Howell Neto, turnover is priced at 1.5 at plus 117. And we're getting it all the way at plus 170 on Caesars. So and that's why it's a huge positive EV play of about 15%, which is a ton. So it provides examples, like I said, of where you're getting better odds on a sports book than what the OddsJam perfect line has. The higher the percent, the better. So the wider the gap between the two numbers, between the OddsJam perfect line and the sportsbook line, the bigger this number, the bigger the better. But it doesn't mean that you should only bet bigger numbers, or that you should put more money depending on how big the number is. Like I said, this one I was skipping for a couple reasons. But overall, the way that you calculate how much money to put on the bet, is using the Kelly criterion method. So if you click this little calculator here, it'll tell you amount to wager. If you're unfamiliar with the Kelly criterion method, the summed up version is what it does is it takes your bankroll, which you input into your positive EV settings. You put in your bankroll. And then once it has that information, when you click a bet, it calculates the win percentage. This is based on the OddsJam perfect line. So whatever the no VIG line is what they put in for the win percentage. So in this case, the Howell Neto, the OddsJam perfect line, which is again the sharpest line in the world, gives it basically 43% chance of hitting. And then it takes into account what you're getting it at on the sports book. So in this case, we're getting it at plus 170. So if I were to bet this, which I'm not, and I'll explain why, I would put $90 on it. It spits out a literal number. So you don't even have to think about how much you should wager on something. It tells you that. So there are a couple of things that impact how high this number is. Number one, and most importantly, is your bankroll. Duh. The more money you have to spend on betting, the more money you're going to bet. That seems pretty logical. Number two is what the OddsJam perfect line calculates the win percentage to be. So the higher the win percentage, the more money you should put on it. So let's pretend this was 60%. It's telling me I should bet $360. If it was 20%, I shouldn't bet money on this one. So as that number ebbs and flows, it's how much money you should put on it. And then the last thing it looks at is what the line is that you're getting it at. So like in this case, it's plus 170. If the OddsJam perfect line being this bet to have a 50% chance of winning, it would tell you to absolutely load that because of the potential profit you can make. So that's how the Kelly criterion method works. But there's a big old baby got back but when looking at the positive EV page. Hopefully people understood that reference. So a lot of people ask me like, hey, there's a ton of plays on here. Like I could scroll for an hour and place bets. Should I bet every single one? And the answer is no, you should not. I always look at the market width before I place a bet. And what the market width is a way to calculate the confidence in what the OddsJam perfect line prices a line to be at. So the way you calculate it is you just, in this case, it's a plus and a minus 160 plus 117. You just subtract those two numbers. So 160 minus 117 is 43. So this play has 43 cents in market width. For an NBA, for a player prop, not NBA, but NHL, NFL, anything, for a player prop, we don't bet anything above 40 cents, which is why this is not a play. For a game prop, which let me see if I can find one here. Come on. A game prop. Here we go. First half total points. We don't bet anything above 25 cents in market width. So this one would actually be a play because it is 23 cents. And then if there's a situation like here where there are two negatives, you just add them together. So 30 plus 2, 32. So that would be 32 cents. So for player props, nothing above 40%. For game props, nothing above 25 cents. Hope that makes sense. And then lastly, and this is specific for player props, because there's inherently a wider variance when you're betting with player props. I don't bet anything above 40%. Or sorry. I don't bet anything above 5 5 to 7% is kind of what I put the range at. So in this case, there are a ton of plays above 7%. I'll limit myself to anything 7% and above. But there are other games where there aren't as many, other days where there aren't as many games going on. I'll limit myself to like maybe, let's say maybe 5%. But in this case, there's a ton of options. So I can do 7% on a day where there are less options, 5%. And then last rule, and then I'll start, I'm not going to place a ton of bets. Cause I could go here for probably an hour and find bets to place. But the last rule I have is if you could find a prop, whether it's a game or player prop that is 15 cents or below in market width, we consider that a load city scenario. So if I can find a bet and a situation where it has, like I said, 15 cents or below, I'll sometimes put double or triple what my calculator tells me to put on this, depending on the play. One time when I was feeling a little reckless, I put quadruple the amount, but normally it's double and sometimes triple. So I'll try to find an example of 15 cents or below. Normally, I will say when you are able to find an example of that, it's normally a lower percentage of positive EV, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't bet it just because it has a lower percentage of positive expected value. Generally, if you could find a market that's that tight, 15 cents and below, and you're still getting positive EV, then that's a really valuable bet. And like this one right here, I'm going to bet this right now. Jazz Pelicans, first half over 109. It's telling me to bet 30. I'm going to bet 60. That's a perfect example. Because like I said, if you're still getting positive EV in the markets that tight, that's incredibly valuable. So we want to take advantage of that as much as we can. So a lot of times when I am betting, what I'll do is instead of going from the top, let's see, let me make sure I get this right. Over 109.5 minus 110. Over 109.5 minus 110. Perfect. So and I have the money for it. So like I said, I've been struggling on BetMGM recently. What was I saying? Yeah. All right. I got it back. Sometimes when I pull up the positive EV page, I won't necessarily start with the highest percentage and go down. What I'll normally do is actually filter out player props. So you just go to your settings, you click out player props, and I'll start from the bottom, and let me filter out live bets. And I'll start from the bottom, and I'll try and look for examples where I found 15 cents or below in market width, because those are more valuable than the higher percentage positive EV plays, especially because sometimes you're not going to get lucky with the market width. So I already found one. Let me see if I can find another. Here's one, same game. So I'm not going to double touch that one. Actually, I will. So this is 40. Looks like it's over 110. I'll go ahead and do that because it's so valuable. So plus 105. And this one I can only I'll put $45 on this one, and then I will be done with MGM. And then the last thing is once you place a bet, you add it to your bet tracker. So I put 45 on this. Make sure you're putting on the right side, the odds, everything look good. And here's another one. Of course, it's BetMGM. This one have been really valuable, 12 cents. Rockets first half minus 8.5. But I don't feel like depositing. My dog just coughed. I don't feel like depositing money. And there's no more. So let me make sure I added. All right. So I added both to my bet tracker. Eventually, the CLV will update. It does it like every 10, 15 minutes, something like that. And it'll tell you whether it's green, which equals good, or red equals you didn't beat it. Maybe you should cash those bad boys out. But I'll find one player prop that is within market width. I'll bet it, and then I'll skedaddle on out of here. It looks like I already found one. So 39 cents in market width. Will Barton under 1.5 made 3-pointers. OddsJam perfect line prices it at plus 109. Prices the over at minus 148. Like I said, that's 39 cents in market width, so it's just within range. We're getting it at plus 154. Dogs are up here chewing bones. Sorry if you can hear that. Plus 154 on FanDuel, telling me I should bet $85 on it. I will say FanDuel updates their odds the quickest. So like I said, I've had bad luck betting FanDuel, but I love FanDuel. Nothing against them. They just happen to update their odds the quickest, which means that if you are able to lock in a bet, it's very valuable. So that's why I like FanDuel, because I know that if I'm getting a bet in, it's very good. All right, let's see. Will Barton. So still good. I have a $25 bonus. That's fun. Minus 154. Tell me to put 85 on it. So that I will do 85. Perfect. $25 bonus. I'm going to use. Got to back the Sixers. If you couldn't tell, I'm a Sixers fan. And we're good. Bonus one. So normally what I would do is I would make sure that was plus EV, but since it was a free bet, I backed the Sixers. The best way you should use a free bet is to find one for plus money. So that actually wasn't a best practice, but I wanted to back my team. It was free money. Don't judge me. But that's it as far as what the plus EV page, how it works, what my strategy is. Like I said, it's been very profitable for me. Up 9,500 overall, 7,500 of that. So everything but $2,000 is on the plus EV page. It's been amazing. I cannot recommend it enough. If you're not currently a subscribed member of OddsJam, I would recommend just go to the website, sign up for a 7-day free trial, use the strategy that I just detailed. And then when you start making money, you're going to want to sign up for the year. So I cannot recommend you do that enough. But before you do that, you need to make sure that you are signed up for every sportsbook that is available to you. So check out the links in the description of this video, sign up anywhere you're not, and then we'll start cashing. But as far as this video goes, that's all I got. So appreciate you guys tuning in.